The best of the morning X. 99X.
I had a very interesting social experience over the weekend. I went back home for Father's Day, and Saturday afternoon, my sister and her husband invited me and my mom and dad out to watch my nephew's soccer game. He's 10. He's a soccer phenom. He plays with like 12-year-olds. He's very fast and athletic. And their team got killed. But, you read about these stories in the paper and stuff, and I'd never really experienced it firsthand. I don't think I have ever seen adults at their worst more than at a 10-year-old soccer game.
Oh, or Little League game.
T-ball, all that crap.
Adults behaving badly.
Absolutely the most despicable thing I've ever seen. The team was getting beat. You know how kids playing soccer, kids fall down. They bump into each other.
Sure.
They trip over each other. I mean, it's just part of the game. And the people on our side of the field were like screaming at the ref that he was fixing the game, and they were screaming that he was reffing unfair, and they were calling like the ref really has an interest in fixing a 10-year-old soccer game.
There's a lot of money to be made on this.
Vegas is turned upside down.
They actually at one point, one of the fathers was accusing the ref of being in cahoots with the coach of the other team. Like, there's cahoots.
Yeah.
For a 10-year-old soccer match. The ref who's hired, he's an outside ref hired by the Park District to come in and ref these kids' games. He probably makes $25, and he leaves. And I remember at one point, one of the kids, I guess, tripped over one of the other guys, and maybe that's the second time it had happened. So one of the fathers on our side screamed out, Ben, if he does that to you again, you trip him back. And of course, the father of the kid on the other side starts screaming at our side, something I couldn't really understand. But, when you're, I guess, on the sideline and you hear the father of another team tell his kid to do something bad to your kid, then, of course, that gets you all bowed up. One of the fathers, I kid you not, one of the parents at one point screamed at his kid out there something like, Stevie, if number 12 does that one more time, you take him out. Really? Take him out? So, of course,
Nice
number 12's parent comes over about 20 minutes later, and he's looking for the person who has screamed at Stevie to take number 12 out. And nothing really happened. I mean, everybody settled down. But it was absolutely, I couldn't believe, and this was, probably normal. I mean, this was not, like one of these situations where it totally got out of hand. My guess is that this was probably business as usual for any soccer game, any Little League game, as you mentioned, that goes on every single weekend at every baseball diamond, Little League diamond, or soccer field, everywhere. The parents, if you're a parent and you got a kid in soccer, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, these days,
the behavior is out of control.
Yeah, these days, you see so many incidents of this, and, you can blame all these little soccer moms and dads and baseball and everything because, like you say, their little kid gets bumped or pushed. Man, when I was playing Little League and my dad was coaching, if I slid home and the guy bloodied my face up or something, I'd just get up and be like, you should have made it. You should have slid in. No big deal. You don't scream and yell at the other people.
Oh, it's unbelievable. At one point, my nephew went, to kick the ball or whatever, and he slipped in. He and an opposing player went to kick the ball at the same time, and my nephew tripped or whatever, so he fell, but the kid still went to kick the ball and accidentally kicked my nephew. He fell near the ball and kicked him. So, of course, my brother-in-law was accusing the other kid of being a dirty player. These kids are dirty players. They're the dirtiest players we've ever played. And they're, and of course, when they say that, what does it do? It instills in the kid that the other teams are dirty, which they're not.
I can't believe this call coming in. Hang on. Shane, what did you
what's going on?
Yeah.
Nah, I used to be a Little League coach, or not coach, but a Little League ref in one of the local districts. I just won't say to make sure nobody gets in trouble. But I've actually had situations that towards the end of the series, when they have an all-star games and things like that, where different parents from the different teams would actually come up and offer you money, bribe you, to try to throw the game towards their team.
To fix the game?
Well,
for what?
Yeah.
Like what? How do they approach you with a bribe.
You just be walking towards the field, and they say, hey, I'm so-and-so with this team, or are you repping this game? And you tell them, yeah, and they go, hey, here's $100 if you'll just kind of look the way our players, or, throw some bad calls towards their team, or whatnot.
That's pathetic.
And also
Really, that is pathetic. $100? I'd need at least 5.
Like you even
exactly.
right, but like you care which Little League team wins.
Exactly, and you'd be surprised at how many times on these games that the benches get cleared, but say an assistant coach. Because the parents are, screaming at the kids and using profanity and cussing out the other coaches.
Oh
and the
yeah,
referees.
totally. I saw the coaches get all over the ref for 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
What are some things that you've seen parents do to get out of hand? I
actually saw one parent jump over a fence and run out on the field to try to attack one of the other coaches who was playing, in Little League Baseball, you got like a first and third base coach. The guy cleared the 4-foot fence and came sprinting across the field to attack the first base coach because of something he'd done to one of his kids, his coach on his team.
I like the parents who come out and chase the kid on the other team.
That's happened.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That happened as well.
Todd, what were we going to ask him?
How many times have you been approached after a game by a pissed off parent?
During the one season that I did at one specific field, I was actually escorted off the field by police officers about 10 times. After the games were over with, I would have some of the local police officers escort me back to my car because of parents sitting there swinging baseball bats and, kind of like holding a baseball bat and just kind of smacking it on their hand, waiting for me to get clear so they can come attack me.
What is it? Now, I'm guessing that what this all boils down to is the parents' inadequacy.
Yes, they're trying to live it out through the kid.
Right.
Exactly.
It's exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with the kid. It's
all the pressure's on little Timmy.
Right.
Now we know why we have psycho athletes.
Right.
They grow up to be crazy.
Yeah, it's the parent who is a failure as a Little League player or a soccer player who is vicariously living through the kid. It was a display unlike that I've ever seen. Let's go to
Zach.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
What's going on?
When I was 13, I played soccer for 8 years, and I was in Paulding County, and the other team's goalie pulled a knife on one of our forwards in the middle of the game.
In the middle of the game?
In the middle of the game.
Well,
they scored on him, and he pulled a knife on one of our forwards.
What? No, but see, that's the kid. Okay, so that's bad, but to me, what's more appalling than the kid not knowing right from wrong is the freaking parents going out of control on the side.
Yeah, what kind of example is that?
It's not even that. It's can you see, Bart? Look, you're a parent. Can you see getting that worked up over a freaking soccer game?
It's not. It's supposed to be fun. It's not that anymore. It's just
at these games.
Who
strictly
cares?
competitive.
What is the point? Are you going to get a parade in your neighborhood when it's over?
What did you see?
What is the point?
Did you see your sister and brother-in-law acting any differently?
Well, afterwards, my brother-in-law is yeah, they were dirty. That was the worst ref. He was totally favoring the other team. I'm like, Jeff,
he
wasn't
10.
favoring the other. They were 10. You think that ref cares whether the blue team wins or the white team wins?
And these are the same parents who go off to Alta and start cheating and throwing, craziness.
Debbie?
Hey.
Hi.
Morning.
Good. What's up?
Well, you are talking to a veteran here. My daughter has been involved in fact, we're just getting ready to get out of it, and I'll never be so glad. She's graduating next year, but very competitive soccer, high state level and all this kind of stuff. And you wouldn't believe, by the time you get involved in a few years, some of these parents have reputations. And, you don't want your daughter on the team where they are because it's inevitable.
It's going to be a scene.
Oh, every week it could be a scene.
Well, now hang on a minute because I want you to stay with me because I want you to be on with Steven. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, Steven?
I would just add that my opinions to what I've heard are to the contrary. I think we're hearing some exceptions, not the norm. I live up here in North Cherokee, coach at the Y, go and watch ball games at a place called Hobgood, and I've seen little, if any, of what I'm hearing spoken about.
Steven, you're the one call who's calling in and saying that you're what you're saying.
In fairness, this was the first time I'd gone to a game, so you're right. You've seen a lot more games than I certainly have, and I can promise you ever will. But
people are calling to your support that are parents and the people that are out in our community saying, yes, that does happen.
I'm saying the first time out there, I'm seeing this insanity, and people are calling to say, yeah, it goes on everywhere.
There's 4 million people in Atlanta, and you've spoken to how many?
8.
Well,
including myself.
including you, right?
9.
Okay. But Debbie, you want Debbie? Help me out here.
Okay, so what? Hopgood's what? Baseball?
Up in Cherokee, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't
Very
know.
competitive,
I don't know
exceptionally
about, it is,
competitive.
Yeah, I know Cherokee's competitive. Well, do y'all have the parents sign the waiver thing? Because that's what a lot of.
I am just a witness at Hopgood. I coach at the Y.
Okay. Well, the Y is low key.
So I don't know about
everybody
waivers
knows
and whatnot.
Everybody knows the kids at the Y are a bunch of wusses.
No,
I mean,
it's just low
Yeah.
key.
Is this that idiot? What's his name?
Crash, yeah.
Yeah, that's that idiot.
Yeah, I'm the idiot.
Well, with all due respect intended.
Yeah.
You're an employed idiot on the radio, so you got something I don't.
I am.
Now, one thing I did want to say was that some of these coaches, I've seen a lot of practices. I take Mia to the park every day for a walk. And some of these coaches yell some things that, I guess if you're a coach, you kind of have to be a dick. I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean, a
See,
lot
now
of
that's
coaches.
another paid idiot. Call him an idiot, too.
Yeah.
No,
That's Todd the butler.
That's
But a
Todd
lot
the
of
idiot.
coaches are
Very
yelling at
easy, but
10-year-olds.
supportive, teach them to play as sportsmen, teach them to win with grace and courtesy, and that's
Well, you're a
the
good
short of it.
parent.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
they're
of
not all
coaches.
as good as you, Stephen. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Pardon
if
me?
you-
It's
Yeah.
an ideal world.
Yeah,
Steven-
you're an exception to the rule.
Steven,
That's not
certain,
an ideal
Steven,
world, man.
I've
How
had
do you
coaches
mind
that are
you think
beer
that I think
drinking,
it's an ideal
nose
world?
picking?
I simply just don't buy in wholesale to what I'm hearing on the radio.
But Steven, certainly you have seen what we're talking about.
It was in the
Well,
news.
I will say that play at the YMCA is a lot less, how do you say, rigorous
Right.
than at some of the
It's
other.
more recreational?
Pardon me?
Is it more recreational?
Yeah, they keep score at the under 8s, under 10s, but under 6, under 4, it's just trying to get people exposed to the sport, exposed to team play, things of that nature.
Well, if those are the games you're going to, yeah, everybody's on the sidelines just cheering their butts off.
All right.
You can actually get into the base.
I appreciate your time.
Steven, we're losing you, but
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Maria,
at the Y playing shuffleboard, yeah, nothing's going to happen. But go up into Alpharetta and watch some of those soccer matches.
Drop into
Get your-
Marietta and some of the Little League games.
Get your head out of your ass and go look at one of those games. That's for sure.
Hey, Maria, I want to hear some stories of parents gone wild.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear parents.
I'm a parent. My son's 5 years old, and I love baseball. I've always loved baseball, so I was very excited when he got to the age where he could play baseball. He played one short season and then has not gone back because the parents are nuts. I mean, we'd be sitting there, on our team, and we had really great coaches. They were hard on their own kids. They were harder on their own kids. I feel sorry for their kids because their kids were really good, but if they screwed up at all, I mean, they would just break down because, there was so much pressure on them. But the other, we'd always try, we had, I guess maybe we'd had an exceptionally nice group in, his class, his team, because we would all clap for the other teams and everything like that. But these other parents, I mean, coming out of the trailer parks or wherever the hell they were coming from,
Cherokee.
booing 5 years. No, I'm not going to say where I'm from because y'all just have a field day with that. But they're booing 5-year-olds.
Man, this is
These poor kids. They're trying to get these kids ready for the military at 5 years old.
I know.
They were booing
5-year-olds. I mean, it was
Can you
at the risk of sounding like a redneck myself, it was making me want to kick somebody's butt.
Can you see?
This is
people
firing me
booing?
up. I got to get a Little League team again.
You're the last person.
It's time to start coaching again. All right.
Horrible. And
Thank you for
would
calling.
be one of those coaches, Barnes. I
Oh
think.
no, I'd be very sweet, and I'd want. It's not about winning the game. I just want them to have fun.
Yeah.
Can I be your
you are
idiot bat
so
boy?
full of crap.
While you're there, caller, I'm glad you waited. Hi.
David,
Yes.
what's going on?
Well, then let me tell you this story. Then I played soccer for, probably 19 years, all the way up through college. And coming up in Gwinnett soccer, you travel around because it wasn't real big back then. And one place you had to go play was Rockdale. It was RICE, Rockdale Youth Soccer Association. They were always known for having, bad teams, as in, well, also they sucked, but also the fact that they were, first ones to start a fight.
Poor sportsmanship, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And, I mean, Barnes, I've heard you say, stuff about soccer, and I can understand anybody's perspective. I respect opinions. But playing soccer, I myself have been paralyzed from the waist down. I've had a dislocated jaw. I've seen a girl killed on the soccer field. And, I mean, it is a rough sport.
And there is something about that. We know that the players, are just ready to take people out. I mean, when I was younger, I was taught how to slide tackle somebody and break their ankle.
Could you bend it like Beckham?
Oh, I can bend it like Beckham. I'm glad y'all know who Beckham is.
You're saying you're paralyzed from the waist down?
No, I ended up pinching a nerve in my lower back.
Oh, okay.
And no, temporarily. Luckily, that was in college. But anyway, the crazy parent story. We're over in Rockdale playing this game, and before we get there, we leave as a team. I was on a select team, and the coach is like, "Okay, guys, Rockdale this season, every one of their games, they've started a fight because they were like 0-9. I mean, they just sucked horribly." So he's like, "So we're going to meet there as a team, walk onto the field as a team, play the game, and then walk off the field as a team. So everybody's together." So we're like, "Yeah, no problem, no problem." Well, we get out there. We end up beating them senseless. I mean, I don't even know the final score, but it got so bad. I was a forward. I ended up being in goal. I was playing goalie. That's how bad we were beating them. Well, the whole game, they were intentionally tripping us and hitting us, elbowing in the kidneys. You name it, they were doing it. And we were trying to keep our cool, like, this is ridiculous. Well, at the end of the game, they came up and just one guy cold-cocked one of our guys, like a little guy, too. And that was it, I mean, that was over with. So we started getting into it, and it was a big brawl. Well, some father on the Rockdale team ended up yelling at me or somebody near me, and my dad thought he was yelling, at me, and my dad didn't like that. And here's my dad. He's like 5'7", maybe 160. He's not exactly a big guy.
Jimmy's stats.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm about 152.
Okay, well, that's a little bit. But he yells back at the guy, and this dude just disappears. And, he didn't think nothing of it. All of a sudden, you hear somebody say, holy, what is that? This dude comes out, and he's flashing around a gun. We're like, whoa, man, hang on.
The father?
Yeah, the father. We're like, dude, there's a difference between, your son getting his butt kicked and you having to get a gun,
Oh, man.
Let the boy take his licks and grow up, but you want to pull out a gun. And
man, these people, there are so many of them like that, though.
It's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, especially because you hear all the time, well, not all the time, but if you watch, like, Fox Sports World, you see soccer games over in Brazil, Europe, and there's always a stabbing of a ref or a crowd. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, this dude pulls a gun, and we're like, whoa, dude, hang on a second, It's like, it's not that serious of a deal, pal. And I think a couple of the parents on the other team ended up tackling him or grabbing him or something. And by the time the cops showed up, that guy was nowhere to be found, of course. And, of course, nobody knew his name either, mysteriously. He was just the unknown gunman, I guess. But, yeah, man, I don't know why it is, but it seems that soccer is a more...
Yeah, I don't know what it is about. I think it's maybe because it's easier to take a cheap shot in soccer, or I don't know. You know what?
Man.
That game, I don't care. It's the most boring game in the world, and yet it gets the fans more whipped up than anything else. I mean, I sat and watched that. It is dull.
You survived, David. Good story.
Yeah, you're a good caller. Thanks for calling.
Thanks,
Amy.
Yeah, hey.
What's going on, Amy?
I heard a story about a group of 8-year-olds out in West Cobb, actually, that the parents got together, and if they hit a home run, they would give the kids $100. So, I mean, that's, professional sports amongst the 8-year-olds.
Well, now, do you know this to be true, or you just heard about it?
No, yeah, I'm a pediatrician, and so it was one of my patients, and they were actually pretty proud of the fact that they were paying their kids for being such great players.
$100 homers.
Hey.
Yeah, that's great.
That's strong.
And the guy from Hobgood, Hobgood's probably one of the worst in Cherokee County. So.
Oh, really?
Hey, now don't be an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks. Let's go.
Thanks,
Kathy.
Amy.
Bye.
See ya, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy, you're on the air.
Hi. I just want to put a different spin on this whole thing. I work as a paramedic for a football association, a fairly large football association, and I have seen so many horrible parenting things. We had a playoff one year where it was getting really big, and it was real tight, and one of the mothers took a cowbell and hit the kid in the helmet, and she hit him so hard that she cracked the helmet and ended up sending the kid to the hospital with a head injury.
Wait, now that's redneck. She hit him in the head with a cowbell. Now that is redneck. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, something.
You are in the
head with a horseshoe.
Yeah, hit him in the head with a cowbell. Oh, God. That's great. That's just unbelievable.
No, these people are amazing. Their kids will get hurt just the least little bit, Or if they have a serious injury, sometimes you'll have them where they've got their bell rung and they really need to sit out, and the parents are screaming, "Put them back in the game! Put them back in the game!"
Yeah, they really literally get their bell rung.
They do. Their cowbell.
The cowbell hits them.
Thanks, Kathy.
Nice.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Oh,
Thanks
boy.
a lot.
The best of the Morning X. 99X.